Hello everybody, my name's Waylon, but I think you knew that already. I play a lot of Team Fortress 2, which I think is pretty self-evident. Like I mentioned in a previous video, I first started playing in early 2013, but actually I was exposed to it around 2011. Ever since I was a little kid, I was infatuated with pretty much everything about this game. The art style, the characters, the hats, and you had better believe I would watch the Meet the Team videos over and over. I didn't have my own computer, so I couldn't play it, but I sure did absorb as much of the game and community as I possibly could. I'm talking about reading the blog from cover to cover and checking out the update pages. I'm talking watching any and all YouTube videos about the game, whether they be actual videos about the real game or weird as hell Gmod videos that have kind of warped me as a person. Really, it was unlike any game I'd ever seen. I grew up on Nintendo, and I never found any cool websites with pictures of in-progress development, maps, entire update pages, just chock full of material. It really blew my mind. Everything was so full of life and personality. The game had its own snark and humor, its own way of playing, its own absurd level of polish that is so fantastic, I find myself comparing any other first-person shooter I play to this decade-old game. Point is, I like the game, and I've never found something that truly plays just like it. There's a reason that PC Gamer called it the most fun you can have online. But is that true now? Well, I still like to think so. Sure, we live in a time where class-based first-person shooter games seem to be crawling out of every crack in the wall, so it might be a little easy for TF2 to slip through the fingers of a modern gamer. But enough about Joe Normie and all their modern games that get regular content. I'm here to make up shit that I think would be cool, and you're all gonna listen. So yes, this is part 1 of my dream update. This might not blow your mind or anything, but getting rid of all the bots and making VAC actually more functional would be the first part of this new update. It doesn't really have a set theme, but it would be much more like the Uber update where every day is its own new theme. So the first day, part 1, this would be called Mechanical Mayhem. To tie into Valve defeating all the bots, we would get brand new man vs. machine content to really stick it to those assholes. The bots would utilize new weapons, they'd even wear hats. Remember Robo Hats? That had an old update about it. I even had ideas for new upgrades. For instance, every class can now equip a very minor money vacuum that works similar to Scout's base ability, but on a much smaller scale and would cost 500 credits. To compensate for this, Scout can now upgrade this ability as well, for 2 points at 250 credits each. This is also when all 9 classes get proper voice lines for readying up, bomb carriers getting stronger, giant robots, sniper and sentry buster callouts, money collecting and upgrading. You get the idea. It always pisses me off how every class got new voice lines for the 2 cities update, yet Scout, Sniper, Pyro, Demo, and Spy still don't have basic callouts. Why is it that only 4 out of the 9 classes got unique lines anyway? That never made sense to me. Also, I already know that Mr. Rick has passed, but thankfully Soldier already has MVM lines. I think I just get really tired of hearing Heavy go, "Not so mighty now, tiny giant!" 500 times a tour. And it wouldn't be a new MVM update without adding new Australiums. For the longest time, I've wanted new ones. Especially ones that I feel like should have already existed, but don't. So here's the new ones I want. I want an Australium shotgun, a pistol, a jag, a backburner, a syringe gun, an uber saw, a bone saw, a stock revolver, a sapper, a brass beast, and a shovel, or even a market gardener. I could go on about even more, obviously I could. And obviously some more bot killers would be cool too, like maybe a robotic pyro head or something. But let me get back to upgrades. For Spy, I'd give the Sapper a recharge rate upgrade, which baffles me because it doesn't exist, and as of 2022, this mode will be 10 years old. Come on, it's kind of a no-brainer. I'd also like to add a multi-class melee resistance for 100 credits each with 5 points to invest into. This will help with those giant samurai demos, the Fist of Steel heavies, etc. A knockback resistance upgrade would really come in clutch, because there's nothing more infuriating than being fully maxed out on resistances, trying to fight the enemy, trying to stop the bomb, and then just getting tossed all around the map because of how damage works in this game, especially if you're Scout. These next ideas are mostly just bullet points that I haven't really fleshed out and ones that my friend suggested to me, but I'd like some upgrade to make the shotguns viable, maybe some kind of explosive or incendiary bullet upgrade, kind of like what you can do in Left 4 Dead 2. I'd also like a faster weapon switch speed upgrade, explode on successful crit with the extinguisher upgrade, and maybe a multi-meta beam upgrade, but again, I'm not sure how that could be implemented. Demo should also be able to upgrade the amount of stickies he can have out at once. Soldiers in Demo should have an upgrader that increases the explosion radius of their weapons. Sentry guns should also get their ammo count upgraded, not just their firing speed, because that leads to its ammo being depleted even faster, which leads to even more time spent whacking it just to refill it. I'd also like the dispenser range to be upgraded even more. Why can't Demo's shields and shoes, snipers' backpacks, gunboats, or Wrangler be upgraded? You can make Demo's shields recharge faster and resist more stats, which would make Demo Knighting even more viable. Snipers' backpacks could block knockback and prevent flinching. Gunboats could block even more blast damage, etc. These are silly ideas, yeah, but at least it encourages diverse playstyles. Alright, for the second day, it would be all about cosmetics. Call it Fortress Fashion! This is when I debut the most legendary and mind-shattering idea to ever grace the internet. Now this might be a little too intense, so some of you are encouraged to leave the room. You ready? Okay. This is when I introduce a fourth cosmetic slot. Remember when they were separated into hat and misc slots? Remember when there were only 2 slots for one hat and one misc? Smart-eyed viewers might realize that I tend to use 4 or more cosmetics on my characters whenever I use stills for thumbnails, or whatever it is you're looking at now. This is because I've realized that there are many, and I'm talking like hundreds of amazing combinations, that simply cannot work because of the limited 3 slots. This really hit me hard when I wanted to complete my Samurai demo loadout and realized I needed 4 slots to actually complete the entire look, which is stupid. Also included in this update is a complete revamp for equip regions so they're actually good and functional. For instance, why can Demo equip the booties and the shin shredders even though they're both shoes, yet he can't equip the 2-fort tooth kickers? Why can't Soldier equip the cold front curb stomper and the man treads? There are literally too many for me to count and label, but let's just say there are combinations that literally should not be possible, and combinations that should work, but don't. I just think it's a pretty good idea. And the 4th cosmetic slot is really what inspired me to make this video in the first place. It's been on my mind for years. As for now, I guess I'll just keep using loadout.tf to use illegal cosmetic techniques. For the 3rd day, and that's right, more than just 2 days, modern fans don't get this anymore, do they? This is obviously the most unrealistic part of this video premise, so forgive me for totally betraying your realism expectations. This 3rd day will be called Community Clash, and it's all about community contributions. Similar to the Scream Fortress and Smithmas tabs that appear during those times of the year, a new one appears showcasing top community-made maps of the month. These are chosen based on high review scores and player comments, and will rotate every week. At the end of matches played on these maps, players will be able to vote on whether or not the map should be officially added into the rotation. Just like a 4th cosmetic slot, this is also something I've wanted for a long time. I feel like this will really get people talking about the game. It'll spark debates about what makes maps good and fun, and especially about what makes them good. For the 4th and final day, it's worth the wait. This is the Fabled Heavy Update. We get 3 new maps, 2 of them taking place in a snowy landscape similar to the Russian mountain ranges from the TF comics, and we'll also get another new MVM map taking place on the map from the original trailer. This is when we get new voice lines for Heavy, like real domination quotes and lines relating to the new maps. For new weapons, he get 1 of each slot, but I can't say I've come up with detailed and fun new weapon ideas. I do think we need new secondary that rivals the banana and the sandwich. Maybe something that gives Heavy some resistances or buffs that come with a minor heal and not pure downsides like the buffalo steak. I'd also like some kind of new subclass, maybe some kind of support role. I'm quite fond of Karma Charger and Uncle Dane's idea of a portable max ammo case. And Funk's idea of Heavy having some sort of shield. I'd also like a new melee weapon that isn't complete dog shit that makes me never want to use anything other than stock. Maybe something that doesn't, I don't know, immediately devalue it by having some sort of damage penalty stacked on top of a damage vulnerability? So yes, 3 brand new weapons for Heavy and maybe an all-class melee reskin for the others, as a treat. As part of this Heavy update, I would give him a base resistance to all forms of knockback. He's supposed to be a heavy guy, yet he gets pushed around as easily as Scout. It doesn't make any sense. I'd also remove the damage ramp up and accuracy penalty when it comes to spinning miniguns. That doesn't make any sense either, and I've never liked this change. The ability to switch to your secondary after firing your minigun would also be cut. The time it takes to switch to your secondary after firing your minigun will also be reduced, and I think this would be a welcome change, because think of all the times you couldn't save your medic, because it took too long to equip the sandwich after you stopped firing. In conclusion, increases max health to 850, now fires his minigun 400% faster with 400 ammo in the barrel. He can move as fast as Scout under the effects of the disciplinary action, manpower haste power up, and the max movement speed MVM upgrade. Oh, and he can also kill all pyro assembly by looking at them. This is my list, thank you for watching. Okay, I hope you didn't like any of these ideas, because knowing Valve, it'll probably never happen. But if any rogue Valve employees that wants to work on the game, or any big shot community creator is watching, feel free to steal my ideas. I won't mind. But when you credit me, just make sure to pronounce my name right. It's Waylin, not Waylon!